Why is coffee the most widely consumed drug of all time? And why do like 95% of Americans drink at least one caffeinated beverage a day? As some major stats have shown, I have my beautiful coffee cup here. I'm an avid coffee consumer, caffeine consumer, a CC. I got my beautiful cup of Nescafe instant coffee whenever I need it at all times. And so, why is everyone so addicted to coffee, especially in America? Why does everyone consume coffee? Why is it like a social drink that's like, oh, work culture, drink your coffee, get caffeinated, increase cortisol, just like focus up. So, why does everyone do it? Um, well, one, it's a stimulant. It increases, attention and focus, and everyone knows like it wakes you up. Um, but why else? Why else is everyone so addicted to it? Um, I think realistically, everyone is so addicted to caffeine. One, because they make it really, really easy to get. Two, it's like super socially acceptable. It's like, yeah, you can be a caffeine addict and like no one's gonna be like, oh, dude, no, that's terrible. You're such a piece of shit. Like you drink coffee every day. You need to like, you're a terrible person. You're awful. Like you see a little meth addict on the street and everyone's like, man, that guy wasted his life, or there'll be some judgment, there may be some compassion depending on who you are. But if you see a caffeine addict, you're like, that's a productive person. That person gets things done, and you have very little judgment towards that individual. And so yeah, that's basically the major difference is like people just view it as like super socially acceptable because every workplace, I mean, think of the genius of this, okay? Workplaces and all these companies were like, if we give people a coffee break, they'll be more productive. And then we could also probably own the coffee companies. And so they're going to take a break, buy our stuff, recycle our money essentially, and get more stimulated to get more work done. And so it's just kind of like generations upon generations of people drinking coffee. Also, we have night shifts. Back in the day, I feel like humans like didn't really have night shifts. They kind of just like were up when the sun was up and down when the sun was down. And so what they do is they drink a bunch of caffeine. It's like it's at night and get things done. Like if you've ever been I'm at a college campus right now. If you've ever been at a college campus, late at night. Well, I mean, and people are getting work done, studying for finals and things. What are they doing? They're drinking cups of Joe. Everyone's drinking cups of Joe. They need to get work done and they need to stay awake. And what it does, like neurochemically, from what I understand, is the caffeine blocks. So if the caffeine molecule binds to where the adenosine receptors go, and adenosine is responsible for, it's a neurotransmitter responsible for like the feeling of tiredness, but it's also like it accumulates throughout the day. Well, essentially, like you perform actions, you get stuff done, you do this, that, and the other, and the adenosine accumulates throughout the day. And then when you sleep, it gets all flushed out. And I'm no neuroscience, I'm a comp sci major, but that's basically what I understand. And so the caffeine blocks that. So temporarily you feel, tons of alertness and focus, and you're like, oh yeah, stuff, productivity, focus, concentration. And you get your little work done, you type on your little computer, or you do whatever work you're doing, maybe something creative, I don't know. And when you're doing that, um, yeah, it's pretty productive, pretty useful. But what was it? Where was I going? Oh, yeah. And so, yeah, everyone's addicted to caffeine. Everyone loves caffeine, and it's super common in America because it increases productivity, and everyone just wants to get more stuff done. And I'd say the last reason, and you can check the Huberman podcast out. It's a great podcast. Guy's probably on stimulants, as you can tell by his death stare. Is that uh oh, I think in some way coffee like increases dopaminergic experiences. So you feel like more juice when you have a juicy experience. And that just leads you to doing more caffeine. So they make it super socially acceptable. Companies have made coffee breaks. They bring coffee work things in there. It's a super common stimulant, and they just make it widely accessible. It's everywhere. There's Starbucks is everywhere. Starbucks is in every state, all over the place. There's Dunkin' Donuts. Everywhere you go, there's coffee. And so that's why it's the most common drug, and everyone seems to love it. And so if I could go back in time in my little time machine, I would control the means of production for coffee, and I would be rich. This is why everyone is addicted to caffeine. I'm glad I could educate you people. I'm glad I could show the public what was really going on. And yeah, God bless.